Hello everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we are going to talk about the overall idea of how to design courses in Canvas. We've talked about assignments and discussions and quizzes and pages and all of those things, and so I want to just take a step back and take a look at the course as a whole. How should we organize courses? How should we organize content? What makes sense? We're going to look at a couple of different classes that I've chosen. I found some good examples from all over the place, all UMA teachers, but I found some good examples of courses that were built, and we're going to talk about the design ideas that are being used. First, let's pick apart mine. This is my most recent iteration of how I want to develop a course. We've been looking at this for the most part over the course of these videos, but essentially what I want for students to be able to do when they first get to this page is I want the most important information to be pretty obvious, right? These are buttons. They look like buttons. It's pretty obvious what you need to do. There's a big button that says grades here. There's syllabus. And then below that, we have links to individual pieces of content, right? You're going to see that this is a pretty common design idea. Have a big splash so that people know where we are, and then have buttons or links to content so students know how to find the information. Now, usually, content is organized in modules, as we've been talking about here, right? I have all of my individual lessons organized as modules. Okay. In the Canvas workshop, instead of using buttons, I used links so that it's easier for us to, from a design perspective, this is a lot easier to create than something like this. So I wanted to make sure that we have an easier, clean look that still is functional. These links still work. They still go where we need to go. And if I go to modules, all of the content for this workshop, because it's much smaller than an actual semester-long class, is all inside of one module itself. If we look at one of my older classes, this is a Web Development 1. This is about a year or so old. This has links to, I have Term 2 or Term 3 and Term 2. Those are flipped, it looks like. Anyway, I have everything broken down by each week of the course and the links that will take you to the content for that week. So for example, in week 3, we're learning about HTML and CSS. You click that and it takes you to the page with all of the information that you need to know. Pictures and whatnot. And then you can go on to the assignments and so forth, the quizzes and whatnot. So that is what I used to use. Now I'm going to use more modules, kind of organized in a better way. I used to have modules that were somewhat big in terms of they had a lot of content in them. Now I'm going to move to more individual modules per day. But again, it really doesn't, it's up to you how you want this content to be organized. It's really how is your homepage directing students to where they need to go. Here's an example from 12th grade English. The splash page is really fantastic. I love it. And there are simple links showing you exactly what to do. Week 8, don't come to school because they're seniors. They graduated. But you can click on a link and it'll take you to the content for that week. This is a very simple, very clean design. I like it a lot. So if you go to week 6, you can see what we're doing, the what, why, and how, links to the content that you need for that week. Very, very easy organization structure. If we go to modules, we can see that we have her front page is right there in one module. We have term 4 and term 3. So they're organized in separate terms. Perfect. Pretty easy to find the assignments that I'm looking for in a class like this. Let's take a look at geology. This is one of my favorite course designs. I think it looks really cool. There are important links up here. She uses a table to organize her content, term projects, rocks and minerals, geologic time. So these are fantastic. And I can click these links. It'll take me straight to the, notice that it's taken a minute. Take me straight to the content in terms of the module itself, right? So the modules are organized in a way that makes sense. We're gonna talk about modules in a minute in a lot more detail and how to organize modules here in a bit. All right. Math 1 Honors, we have these buttons. These are actually images that are being used as links so that it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit nicer to see. And if I click that, it'll take me to the required area. Again, organized in modules, easy to find. There are no questions here. Schedule. We have a table outlining the schedule of the course. What are we doing each day? It's pretty fantastic. Some resources. See Alex, Purple Math. Good times. So this is a well-designed page. This one I wanted to bring up as an example because it doesn't follow any of the design stuff that we just talked about, but it's a really effective way of organizing a course, in my opinion. This teacher chose their syllabus as their home page. So as soon as students come to this course, they see the syllabus, but the syllabus still has a nice graphic at the top, all of the information that students need to know about how the course works. And then the syllabus in Canvas has a list of assignments right down below it. So students can come down here, find the assignment they're looking for, and click into it. Content is still organized in modules. Some of the content is unpublished, which from a teacher's perspective, that looks like they're working on that stuff and it's not quite published yet. It's great. This is a great way to organize a course. This is an option that you have if you want to just give a bunch of information and not focus too much on making a homepage that looks like a website. This is pretty great. Let's go back and let's talk about how to organize content in modules. So we have a module here, Unit 1, Lesson 1 Hardware, and I have all the content that belongs into that module, right? Notice that some of the content is all the way to the edge and other content is indented. You can increase the indentation of any item by clicking on this menu here, these three dots, and increase the indent, and it indents it even further. Generally, it makes sense, for me at least, to have the graded assignments indented and the stuff that is just for in-class work or lessons and things like that to not be indented so that kids can quickly scroll through this and see, oh, those are the assignments, those are assignments, those are assignments, right? But other teachers do other things. Again, it's completely up to you. It's your prerogative to come up with a design theory that works for your class. Let's talk about these links over here on the side and some of the settings that we have. Inside of settings, we have the first thing that pops up is the course image. This course image is really important because this is the image that will show up in the tile when you're in your dashboard. So if I go to my dashboard, you'll see that I have the Exploring Computer Science image right there. Some of these courses that I'm working on, they don't have a course image yet. And so it's, it just this blank square. It's kind of weird looking. So you want to set a course image. You go into settings and you can set it there. In here, you can change the name of the course and the course code. You can enable this as a blueprint course, which will essentially just create it as almost a, like a template. Let's see, you can change your time zone. All of this stuff, a lot of the stuff is going to be populated by Aspire whenever you get the course, when the course is built. Okay, language. So you can set a specific language for this course to be in. Your file storage, 500 megabytes. This is what I was talking about when we were discussing videos. If you have videos that are, or a lot of different videos in your course, you may exceed the file storage limits here. Large course. So if I have a course with a lot of students in it, I can use Launch SpeedGrader filtered by student group, which will make my SpeedGrader pop up quickly We don't have too many classes with that many students in it, so this doesn't really apply for the most part. I can enable a course grading scheme. Come in here and change my grading scheme. So this can match with whatever I have set in Aspire. So I can have, manage grading schemes. I can come in here and add a grading scheme, and I can adjust these. So maybe if I want A- to go from, from 93 and up, I can come in here and change. That was weird. It's not. I want to change the range. Oh well. I think the grading schemes are pretty much locked by what you have in Aspire anyway. So let's see, what other options can we play with? We can change the license for this, so we can make this course a public domain course or private. I keep mine set to private. We can copyright all of the information for files and things before they're published in the course. Basically, you would have to provide copyright information for all the stuff that you use. We can change the visibility of this course so that everyone in our institution could see it, or everyone in the public can see the course. Usually whenever you are using, when you create a course for students, it's just going to be course. But if you want something like, I don't know, the Canvas workshop, you would set it to institution so that everyone can see it. Format. I'm not sure what changes this makes, right? So I can set this course as an online course, on campus, or blended. I'm not sure what changes that makes in the back end. All right, we can have a description of the course. So those are the course details. In sections, this is where you can determine which students are in which section of your course. So let's say you teach a class and you teach it multiple class periods. You might have a section for A1 and a section for A2 and a section for B4 or whatever, right? In here, you can see which users are in those sections. And like I said before, you can create new sections for specific groups that you want to target assignments to. So those students that get extended time and, etc. Navigation, this is where you can indicate which links you want to be available to students and which ones you want to hide from them. Apps, this is a link. This menu will show you all the third-party apps that are available to you as a Canvas user. I'll be honest with you. I don't spend too much time playing around with apps, but if you do use a specific application in your classroom, such as Alex or BrainPop or whatever, then you can integrate. Oh, Canva. Ooh, there's a Canva for Education. You can integrate this app into your course just by finding it and clicking Add App. Now, some apps are paid, and you have to actually type in some specific information in order to add them into your course. Let's see if we can find one that isn't paid. And the hard part is you won't know until you actually try to add it. CK12 is installed. So I can add that. Yeah. So anyway, so apps is fun, but unless you're already using something like this, or specifically that you need to integrate a specific app, that's a thing you're going to have to troubleshoot with between you and the app manufacturer. Feature options. So allow outcome extra credit. So if enabled, this allows more than the maximum possible score on an outcome to be given on a rubric. So this means I can give extra credit to students just by turning this on. I keep this off because I don't give extra credit, but if you do, you can turn that on. Anonymous instructor annotations. So if you have multiple instructors in a course, you can make it so that the instructor can give feedback and it's going to be anonymous. Default to new quizzes. This will remove your ability to create classic quizzes. To be honest with you, I actually turned this on for most of the courses that I'm building. I just kept it off so that I can show you the difference between the two. Discussions and announcements redesign. So this is new. I haven't seen this yet. Discussions and announcements when the flag early access to ongoing improvements will display automatically with every release. I want to see, oh, this is a user group discussing it. Anyway, we will look into that later when I'm not recording a video, but that might be a new feature I'm going to play with. Outcome service results to Canvas reporting. Okay, that's fine. Integrations, no integrations available. So those are really the options that you have available to you for courses. Let's talk about how to set a home page. Over here, there is this option, choose a home page. Now you have your course activity stream, your modules, assignments list, syllabus, or pages front page. The problem is if you go to click pages front page, you are not going to be able to automatically assign the page you want until you go into pages and you indicate that one is the home page. So or the front page. For me, it's this home page here. You're going to right click and you're going to say add as home page, right? So I can remove it really quickly and I can add it back so we can see use as front page. Okay. Once you do that, then you can come over here. By default, it went to my modules now. You can come over here and click pages front page. Okay. All right, so we talked a lot about design, some of the design ideas. Really the main, really important thing that you need to remember about designing Canvas pages is simpler is better for the most part, but it's really important that students and parents can find the content they're looking for. Okay, put yourself into the mind space of a parent. It's Sunday night. They are trying to help their student complete some work so they can bring up their grade. So they can play basketball on Friday or whatever, right? And they're cramming, they're sitting around the kitchen table, they have the laptop open, and they're trying to find that lab that they're missing, that they need to complete, but they can't because they're digging through your Canvas page and it's just not there. Things aren't named the same as they're named in Aspire. Things aren't organized in a way that makes it easy for them to find it. It's just impossible for them to navigate your course. We want to avoid that at all costs. Making things easier to find is going to increase student submissions in your classroom. The more students can find, or the easier students can find your assignments and the learning materials that go along with them, the more incentivized they are to turn in those assignments. Students will maybe, if they're really dedicated, spend 5 minutes looking for something. If they can't find it, they'll probably give up and be like, I don't know, it's impossible to find. Right? Make it easy for them to find what they're looking for. So however that makes sense to you, whether by using big buttons or organizing everything in modules in a way that makes sense. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways that you can do this and make it a whole lot easier for students to find work. I've looked through a lot of Canvas pages that were not intuitive to use. That it was really kind of impossible to find a specific assignment among the plethora of things that were available. So try to make it as clear as possible, as easy to read, as easy to find as you can. All right, that's about it for this discussion. We could go on for hours and days about ways to design courses, but I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if you have any questions.